Hello everyone. So in this video, we will cover ratio and proportion. And through ratio and proportion, it will become easy for us to compare quantities and solve problems for the further topics like mixtures, partnerships, time and work, and so on. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to solve or understand the basic concepts of meaning of ratios, simplifying ratios, dividing quantities in a ratio, percentage to ratio conversion, ratio to percentage conversion, what is proportion concept, and what is meant by or how to identify direct and inverse proportion. So let's start with the basic concept of ratio. So what is ratio? So when I say ratio, so what does I understand or what do I understand by saying this? So a ratio basically compares two quantities. So it is responsible for comparing two quantities of the same kind. Of the same kind means of the same quantities or of the same unit. Let's say there are two boys and three girls in a class. So what is the ratio of boys is to girls? So ratio of boys is to girls will be 2:3. क्योंकि मैं यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स की बात कर रहा हूँ तो बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स बोथ आर ऑफ डिफरेंट जेंडर बट मैं स्टूडेंट्स की बात कर रहा हूँ तो दे आर ऑफ द सेम काइंड ऑल्सो लेट्स टेक अनदर एग्जाम्पल विच इज 20 सेंटीमीटर एंड 50 सेंटीमीटर इफ दिस इज द एग्जाम्पल एंड मेरे को दोनों क्वांटिटी का रेशियो लिखना है सो इट विल बी 20:50 जस्ट बिकॉज इनके यूनिट्स 50 सेंटीमीटर में है अगर मैं एक और एग्जाम्पल लूँ विच इज 1 मीटर इज टू 50 सेंटीमीटर अब मेरे को इस क्वेश्चन में यूनिट्स देखने हैं यूनिट्स आर मीटर एंड सेंटीमीटर सो व्हेन द यूनिट्स आर डिफरेंट we'll do the first step which is making the units similar पहले हम यूनिट्स को सेम करेंगे so we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter in this case 1 meter will become 100 centimeter and 50 centimeter as this is already in centimeter so we don't have to change the unit this will be 50 centimeter so the final ratio will be 100 is to 50. Also, we can say that whenever we write A is to B, this is same as A divided by B. This is one of the property of ratio, wherein we can represent ratios in form of fraction. Whatever is written in numerator comes here, whatever is written in denominator comes here. Further, we'll discuss upon simplifying ratios. Simplifying ratios. So what we will discuss here is how to simplify ratios in basic form or whenever we say like we have a fraction and we have to simplify that fraction in the simplest form. What we do that there, the similar kind of concept is applied in ratios as well. So when I talk of this thing, so what we have to do is we divide both the terms by their greatest common divisor. Let's say I have A is to B and I have to simplify it to their simplest form. So what I'll do, I'll divide A and B by greatest common divisor of A and B. Let's take some examples and understand this. So first example is 12 is to 18. So greatest common divisor for 12 and 18 is 6. So what we'll do, we'll divide by 6. And when we'll divide by 6, the final ratio comes out to be 12 divided by 6 is to 18 divided by 6, which becomes 2 is to 3. Second, the other example is 150 is to 100. Again, we'll take greatest common divisor of 150, 100, which comes out to be 50. So we'll divide it by 50. And when we'll divide it by 50, we'll get 150 divided by 50 is to 100 divided by 50. So this term becomes 3 and this term becomes 2. So the final answer is 3 is to 2. So this is how you can simplify ratios. Then next we have dividing quantities in ratio. Dividing quantities in ratio. So if a quantity is divided in ratio, we divide it according to parts. Let's say you have a pizza And we have divided the pizza in 4 equal halves. And there's a shaded portion and there's some unshaded portion. Okay. So what is the shaded portion? What fraction of the portion is shaded? Let's say this is the question. This is 3 by 4. And what is unshaded? This is 1 by 4. Or 1 minus 3 by 4. One of the same thing. So from this, we understand that the ratio of shaded is to unshaded. It comes out to be 3 by 4 is to 1 by 4, which is also written down as 3 is to 1. So can we say that out of 4 parts 3 are shaded and out of 4 parts 1 is unshaded? Total parts क्या हैं इसमें? ये shaded वाले हैं और ये unshaded वाले हैं. So if this is the case, what is total part? Total is shaded plus unshaded. And once you know of the total, you can find out shaded very easily and unshaded part very easily from this given ratio. So once you understand this, let's take another example, which is divide. Let me make a block. Yes. Let's take another example, which is divide rupees 500 in ratio 2 is to 3. So when we say I have to divide 500 in 2 parts, which is 2 is to 3. So total part is how much? Total is 2 plus 3, which is 5. So value for first part. Value for first part becomes 2 by 5 into 500. This is the same as this part. So this becomes 500 divided by 5 is 100. 100 multiplied by 2 is 200. Similarly, value for second part. So in this, 3 by 5 multiplied by 500. Similarly, this becomes 300. Or this can also be written down as 500 minus 200. 200 or 500 minus value for first part. So we have both the values. Here it came out as 200 and here it came out as 300. So this is how you can divide quantities in ratios. Now we will understand ratio conversion to percentages. So this is how you represent ratios and this is how you represent percentage. So we'll convert ratios in form of percentages. So let's say boys is to girls ratio is given as 3 is to 2. So here total part is 5. Total part is 5. And boys will be how many in form of fraction? Boys will be 3 out of 5, right? So 3 out of 5. And girls will be how much? Girls will be 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 or 1 minus 3 by 5. Or this is also known as total minus boys. Because we just have boys and girls in the class. Or let's say we have taken only boys and girls here. So total is 5 and total minus boys will be girls. So this is one thing and this is other thing. So we have to find out the percentage. So in this, it will be 3 by 5 into 100 percentage, which comes out to be 60 percentage. And here, if you calculate from this part, it comes out to be 2 by 5 into 100 percentage, which is 40%. Or from this part, it can be said as 100% minus 60%. So how to understand what is what, right? Let's say this is the pizza, or this is the circle wherein it is divided into 5 equal halves. So this is 5 equal half. This is boy, this is boy, this is boy, this is girl's part, this is girl's part. Okay. So complete circle is 100% or complete circle is one whole part. So can we say 1 is 100%? For boys, it is 3 by 5. I'll just divide this. Yeah. So for boys, it is 3 by 5. So this becomes 3 by 5 into 100%. So this comes out to be 60%. For girls, it is 2 by 5, which comes out to be 2 by 5 into 100%, which is again 40%. So this is another way of interpreting the same thing. Now we'll come further and we will understand how to convert percentages to ratios. To understand the conversion of percentages to ratios, it is the same as we did previously. Here we converted ratios to percentages. Now we'll convert percentages to ratios. Let's say in a class there are boys which are 60% and there are girls which is we don't know. So can we find out how many girls are there? And we also know that we just have boys and girls. So can we find out how many girls are there? Yes, we can. Girls are total minus boys. So total is 100% minus 60%. So this comes out to be 40%. So we know that girls are now 40%. Now, whenever we are known with the percentage, right, how to convert it into ratios. So just expand it. Expand it as in boys are how many? 60%. So can I write it down as 60 divided by 100? Now I have to write this down in the simplest form. When I have to write down in the simplest form. So 20 into 3 and 20 into 5. So 20 cancels out. It comes out to be 3 by 5. 3 by 5 is nothing but 3 is to 5. As I told you, A is to B is same as A divided by B. So can I say this is also the same? Similarly, for girls, it is 40%, which is 40 divided by 100, which is 20 into 2 divided by 20 into 5. 20 cancels out. It comes out to be 2 by 5, which is 2 is to 5. Here again, A is to B is similar as A by B. Similar concept is applied here as well. So we have till now we have understood what is ratio, what does dividing quantities in a ratio mean, how to convert ratio into percentages, and how to convert percentages into ratios. Now we will understand proportion concept. Proportion concept. So a proportion states that two ratios are equal. Whenever we say two ratios are equal, let's take an example, which is 2 is to 3 is equal to 4 is to 6. Can we say this? Yes, we can say, because 4 is to 6 can be reduced to 2 is to 3. How? Greatest common divisor of 4 and 6 is 2. So I can write this down as 4 divided by 2, which is 2, is to 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So this comes out to be 2 is to 3. So these both are the same thing. So similarly, if you get any proportion, any two proportions or any two ratios, and if they are uh, they are equal in the simplest form, you can say they are a proportion. So there's a property in this. The property is product of extremes, product of extremes is equal to product of means. So in if you have this C is to D. So these are extremes and these are means. Let's say A and D are what? Extremes. B and C are what? Means. So if you understand this, it becomes easy to understand this particular property. So this particular property will help you understand or find out the unknown values. This can also be told in this manner. Let's say A is to B is equal to C is to D. So can I write this down as A divided by B is equal to C divided by D. So can I write this down as A multiplied by D is equal to B multiplied by C. So A and D are the extreme positions and B and C are the mean positions. So this is the proof for this particular thing. Now let's move forward and understand what is direct and indirect proportion. Direct and indirect proportion. So whenever we talk on this particular thing, you should be very clear with the concept of proportion, which I already explained you before this slide. So whenever we have one quantity which increases, the other also increases. This is known as direct proportion. Let's say you have A and you have B. So whenever A is increasing, B is also increasing. So I'm talking about direct right now. Or we can say whenever A is decreasing, B is also decreasing. This is one case, this is one case. Okay. So some examples can be more items, more cost. So these can be some of the direct proportions. Some of the indirect proportions, before going into that, I'll explain you what is indirect proportion. So whenever A increases, B decreases, or whenever A decreases, B increases. So they do not vary in the same manner, they vary in the opposite manner in indirect proportion, whereas they vary in the same manner in the direct proportion. So some example for this is more workers, less time required. So this is the whole concept of ratio and proportion, which we have covered till now. So these concepts are essential for solving various other conceptual problems going forward, which includes mixture allegations, time work, and so on. So in the next video, we will learn average, which helps us combine quantities and complements basically the ratio-based reasonings. Thank you.